The guardian of the soul, the radiance of Algiz against the encroaching void. The air thickens with a heavy, suffocating mist. Tendrils of obsidian smoke crawl across the ground, reaching out like cold fingers to extinguish the flickering warmth of a human spirit. Just as the darkness prepares to swallow everything, a golden spark erupts. From the center of the void, a sharp, crystalline symbol erupts upward. It is the Algiz Rune. It pulses with a blinding, rhythmic light, creating an invisible shockwave that shatters the black smoke into harmless dust. The darkness retreats, unable to touch the sacred boundary of the golden shield. Throughout human history, humanity has sought symbols to represent the unseen forces of protection and connection to the divine. Among the most potent of these symbols is the 15th letter of the Elder Futhark, Algiz. Often associated with the elk or the protective sedge grass, Algiz represents more than just a physical barrier. It is a bridge between the earthly realm and the celestial heights. It is often visualized as a hand reaching toward the heavens or the antlers of a great beast standing guard. In the modern era, where negativity often manifests as psychological stress, toxic environments, or emotional exhaustion, the ancient concept of the soul shield has found a new resonance. This is the story of how a single geometric form can represent the triumph of inner light over external darkness. The rise of the shadows. Negative energy is rarely a sudden explosion. Instead, it moves like a slow, creeping fog. It represents the accumulation of doubt, the weight of collective anxiety, and the sharp edges of envy or malice. In this narrative, these forces are personified as shifting, ink-like clouds that seek to obscure clarity. They represent the moments when an individual feels overwhelmed by the chaos of the world. As these shadows grow, they attempt to dampen the natural radiance of the human psyche. They thrive in silence and in the cold corners of the mind. The struggle is universal, the battle to maintain a sense of self when the environment feels increasingly hostile. This sets the stage for the emergence of a protector, an ancient sigil that has stood the test of millennia. The awakening of Algiz. The turning point begins with the conscious recognition of the Algiz Rune. Visually, the rune resembles a central vertical line with two diagonal branches reaching upward and outward. When this symbol is invoked, it begins to glow with a soft amber hue. It does not attack the darkness, rather it establishes an absolute law of exclusion. As the rune grows brighter, it reveals its true nature as an antenna for higher consciousness. It draws energy from the vast expanse of the cosmos, channeling it down into the present moment. The light of Algiz is not a fire that burns, but a crystalline clarity that clarifies. It vibrates at a frequency that is incompatible with the low, heavy vibration of the dark smoke. As the rune strengthens, the user or the subject at the center begins to breathe again. The pressure on the chest lightens. The climax, the clash of frequencies. The confrontation reaches its peak when the darkness gathers itself into a singular, massive wave. It attempts to crush the golden light of the rune through sheer volume. This represents the ultimate test of faith and inner strength. The Algiz Rune responds by expanding. The golden lines thicken, turning from light into what appears to be celestial gold. Each time a wisp of black smoke touches the perimeter of the Algiz shield, there is a flash of brilliant white light. The negativity is not just pushed back, it is transmuted. The darkness hits the shield and is neutralized, turning into pale gray mist that eventually evaporates into nothingness. The rune stands tall, unyielding, and unbreakable. It is the immovable object against the unstoppable force of negativity. The atmosphere changes from one of dread to one of profound peace. The golden glow fills the entire frame, leaving no room for a single shadow to hide. The aftermath and integration. With the shadows dispersed, the Algiz Rune remains, floating in the center of a now clear space. The air is crisp and filled with the scent of ozone and ancient forests. The symbol slowly begins to descend, shrinking in size until it rests against the heart of the individual it protected. It does not disappear, but settles into a quiet, constant hum of protection. This state represents the integration of the soul shield into daily life. It is the realization that the power to ward off negativity does not come from an external source, but from the activation of an internal divine blueprint. The landscape is now bathed in a soft morning light, symbolizing a new beginning and a fortified spirit. The conclusion. The journey of the soul is often fraught with challenges, but symbols like Algiz serve as reminders of an inherent right to safety and spiritual sovereignty. The soul shield is not a wall that shuts the world out, but a filter that allows beauty and truth to enter while keeping the darkness at bay. To understand Algiz is to understand that one is never truly defenseless. As the final glow of the rune fades into a subtle shimmer, the message remains clear. The light within is always stronger than the shadows without. By invoking the spirit of the elk and the reach of the heavens, the soul finds its sanctuary. The shield is ready, the spirit is guarded, and the darkness has no choice but to vanish in the presence of such ancient, radiant truth.